And now I am going to tell you the most important thing about your life. Remember that whatever you achieve in life, whatever will happen to you in life, is directly proportional to your attitude. The way your attitude will be with life, life will give you the same in return. Friends, you are all aware of Isaac Newton. He was an absolute genius, who changed physics forever through his laws. Despite being such a brilliant mind, human nature used to confuse him. And he used to be deceived in understanding humans. That's why he said something about humans. I can calculate the motion of the heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. But friends, the million-dollar question is that how do we understand human nature? So, being a book buddy, you don't have to worry at all. Because today I will introduce you to such a book, which if you understand it correctly, then you will get such an understanding about human nature, about human psychology, which was never before. The name of this book is Laws of Human Nature. And it is written by the maestro Robert Greene. This is the same Robert Greene who wrote a bestseller and mind-blowing book like 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power is one of my favorite books of all time. And I highly rate it. But when I read this book, Laws of Human Nature, then maybe 48 Laws of Power will also get drunk in front of it. Through this book, Book Buddies, today I will give you such an understanding of human psychology, which you will cherish all your life. So watch this very critical video till the end. Let's get started. There are a total of 18 laws in this book. And I will try to cover all of them in my video. Because all of them are more than one. So let's get started with the first one. Law of irrationality. We think that today's modern man is very clever, intelligent and rational. That is, instead of emotions, he works with reason. But the reality is that even today, you and I are taking most of our decisions on the basis of emotions. This is why most of our decisions go wrong. Thousands of years ago, there was a very famous statesman in Athens. His name was Pericles. He was very famous because of his habit. Whenever he got stuck in a problem or he had to make an important decision, he would spend time alone with himself. He would think about the result of that decision. And think again and again. And then he would take the same decision in a very cool and calm way, in which most people would benefit. That is the reason why people absolutely loved him. We can also learn a lot from this patience capital of Pericles. But these things are very easy to say. When you objectively think about any issue, then you will have some problems. These problems are called bias. Bias is a thought that has no logic behind it. And these biases are mostly driven by our emotions and cognitive processes. There are dozens of biases in psychology. To make a sound and strong decision, it is important to understand these biases. So friends, first of all, let's understand confirmation bias. Whenever we have to take a decision, whether it is our personal life or professional life, we usually look for evidence for it. So that we can make the best decision on our own. But the interesting thing is that we look for the evidence that confirms our existing belief. This is called confirmation bias. We all want the belief that is going on in our heart and mind to get confirmation. We want it to be applauded, acknowledged, and appreciated. Because of this, we tend to shun the reality. So to avoid confirmation bias, always look for evidence that is opposite to your existing belief. The second bias is conviction bias. This is very self-explanatory. Conviction bias is when you think that because you think so strongly about an idea, it must be true. I believe in this idea so strongly. It must be true. Because of that idea, that problem, that thought, your conviction is so strong that you null and void all other factors. Usually, whenever a political or religious leader talks to us with full conviction, full authority, with heated words and gestures, then we feel that whatever he is saying is absolutely true. We feel that when he is convincingly saying all these things with so much passion, then whatever he is saying is absolutely true. But this is not always true. That's why always be careful. Another very common bias is appearance bias. Because of this bias, we feel that the way people look physically or superficially, they are the same inside as well. But you know what, friends? Appearances can be really misleading. This is called in the language of psychology, halo or hollow effect. This is also an amazing psychological effect. You guys should also notice about yourselves that the people who look good, who are handsome, or the girls who are more beautiful, we feel that they will be equally beautiful in their life as well. They will be equally trustworthy. They will be equally kind and generous. Usually, this is not the case. This happens because we tend to fall for the appearances. We feel that the way people look, they are the same inside as well. So make sure that you don't just go by the looks of people, but try to understand them deep inside. There is another very common bias which is called group bias. According to this, we do the same thing which is endorsed by the group. This is also called the bandwagon effect. We are social animals, so we don't like isolation. We don't like loneliness at all. That's why to belong to a group, we adopt their ideology so that we don't feel left out. This is also called the group thing. Often, our opinion may be different from the group, but we have a fear inside that if we voice our point of view, then we might be ostracized. We will be thrown out of the group. And because of this fear, we fall prey to group bias. And we don't even realize it. Another bias is blame bias. We say that we understand our mistakes and correct them. But in reality, we are running away from our mistakes. Because it is too painful to look at our mistakes. And even if we make a mistake, we blame someone else for it. This is called self-serving bias in psychology. They say that success has many fathers, while failure is an orphan. Another bias is called superiority bias. Because of this bias, we feel that we are superior, decent, rational, and intelligent. But in reality, this is not the case. We ignore our mistakes and shortcomings, which is the recipe of disaster. So whenever you want to take a decision, you have to create a balance between your emotions and rationality. The next law is very interesting. It is the law of narcissism. Narcissism is a unique word in English, which means self-love. Narcissists need more praise, validation, appreciation than ordinary people. They want people to always praise their selfies, their hair, their clothes, their every move. Standing in front of the mirror for hours, taking selfies from thousands of angles, and then posting them on social media and waiting for comments are some mild symptoms of narcissism. This type of narcissism has filled the Instagram world. But the reality is that we are all narcissists on our level. However, there is a type of narcissism which is very dangerous. It is called deep narcissism. And it is dangerous because it takes up a place in our personality within 2 to 5 years. This is the age when a child tries to discover his self-image for the first time after being born. In this age, if parents validate their child, appreciate him, give him time, give him attention, then his positive self-image develops. But if this does not happen, then his self-image gets distorted. And this is where deep narcissism starts. Usually, parents of such children are narcissists themselves. And in order to control their children, they snub and suppress their personality. Such children grow up and develop a strange personality in which they always need new people, new environment, new praise, new appreciation, and new attention. The introverts in these are lost in their own world. They feel superior and isolated. Most of these people get involved in drugs or some addiction. You can identify deep narcissism from their behavior. If you challenge them a little, they will become furious with rage. They will be oversensitive and prickly. Usually, such people always consider themselves right. If we talk about relationships, deep narcissists consider their partner as their own extension. This is why they take their partner's entire life under their control. They get rid of all his friends so that there is no competition for attention. You may remember India's famous movie, Agni Sakshi. Nana Patkar's character is a classic example of a deep narcissist. We may not be at this level of deep narcissism, but somewhere we like it and we feel that we are who we are. Our goal should be to turn our narcissism into empathy. But what is empathy? Empathy means understanding and sharing so that you can understand their situation in the right way. What are their fears, frustrations, what makes them happy? You should have a lot of knowledge about it. Only by doing this, you will be able to improve your relationships. Pay attention to people. Be attentive to their needs and be a good listener. This will work wonders for you. If you develop this habit, then you will understand the beauty of humanity and all the ways will be easier for you. The next law is wishes, something Robert Greene is famous for. It is the law of role-playing. It is true that people wear a mask in their daily life. This mask is worn to hide your real personality. Everyone wants to be confident, intelligent, diligent, and attractive. To look like this, they try to hide their jealousy, insecurity, and envy. If we understand their fake appearance as reality, then we will never be able to understand their true feelings. Fortunately, there are some cracks in this mask due to which people unconsciously express their real feelings, sentiments, and unconscious desires through their body language, nonverbal cues, and eye movement. Now it is your job to master this language and become an expert in reading people. Using this knowledge, you can do something that is evil. I told you about the halo effect that people fall for appearances. You can also use your appearance to fool people. You can play with their emotions and perceptions. You can do role-playing and do it to favor your cause. For law of compulsive behavior, it tries to teach us to always measure the strength of people's character. Character is something that people never lose. They keep strengthening it with their actions. If someone has a loose character, you will get to know about it, and if someone has a deep character, you will get to know about it in due course of time. So if you want to understand people's behavior, try to understand their character. It will give you some insights about their personality that nothing else can. Now let me tell you a litmus test. If you want to judge someone's character, see how they react in adversity when the chips are down. How they face problems. How they respond when the situation balls to the walls. People with strong character will always take responsibility and face problems upfront. This is a sign of strength. On the other hand, there will be toxic people whose response will be totally opposite. But these toxic people are of different types. The first type is hyperperfectionist. Such people will initially impress you with their attention to detail. You will think that what an amazing person he is. He gives his best in everything and maintains highest standards. But with the passage of time, you will discover that the story is something else. Reality is something else. Such people are perfectionists because they don't know how to delegate. They can't trust anyone. That's why they want to do everything by themselves. So always keep an eye for these sort of individuals and deal with them accordingly. Another type of toxic people are relentless rebels. You feel very excited to be with such people because they are rebels. They hate authority and go against the system in everything. Such people have an amazing sense of humor because of which people keep getting attracted to them. But if you scratch the surface, there is an insecure personality usually. The way parents treat such people in childhood is not good. That's why they tend to hate power and authority. So be very careful with the rebels you meet in your life. Their reality is something else. Another type of toxic people are the personalizers. Such people are very thoughtful and sensitive. They look very intelligent, considerate, and they are usually good to work with. But with time, you realize that this sensitivity is only for their own self. Its direction is only inward. Such people can't forget one thing. No matter how many times you talk to them, they remember it for years. And they make sure that you don't forget it either. The identity of such people is that they will always call themselves victims. They feel that something bad has always happened to them. That is why their personality eventually becomes toxic. Then you will also find some drama magnets in your life who are always busy with some drama. They possess unusual energy and have dozens of stories to tell. Their features are very animated and they are fun to be around. You also enjoy talking to them. But a time comes when their drama becomes ugly and they show you their real face. Such people will trap you in their drama so much that you will get trapped. Then comes the turn of the big talkers. These people talk a lot, but deep inside their personality there is no substance. Another identity of such people is that they never finish any work and eventually blame someone else. After this, sometimes another toxic person comes in your life who is called the savior. It seems that finally you got what you wanted. This same person will get you out of your problems. But in reality, that person is controlling you. As soon as you try to be independent, he suppresses your personality and they become quite aggressive. You think that he is the solution to all your problems when in reality he is the real problem. You will find such extremely toxic people in your life. You have to avoid them. Don't demean or belittle them. Don't be hostile to them. Observe them and be very careful, and always tilt towards those who have a strong character. The fifth law is the law of covetousness, which tells us that we should make ourselves an object of desire. But how to do this? Too much present suffocates. If you are present all the time, your value and dignity will slowly lose. This is the reason why mega stars and superstars keep their attendance limited. They create a mystery around them. Use strategic absence to make people desire your return. Conduct yourself in a way that people want to possess you. Everyone wants to possess you. But who will possess you? No one knows. Show people what they desire for. What they desire. And they will go crazy for you. This is the reason why Karan Johar's movies are very popular in Bollywood. There is a psychological reason behind this. Karan Johar shows larger-than-life characters in his movies. Rich people with big mansions, big cars, big lifestyles. A common man forgets all his problems, leaves his average middle-class life and goes to watch his movie to make himself feel special. And to enjoy that life for 3 hours which he can only desire. That's how media plays with our psychology. It is true that most of us live our lives in a narrow time frame. Our emotions about time are not very positive. Because long time symbolizes aging, old age, an uncertain future about which we know nothing. In which anything can happen. That's why we are petrified of time. We always fall for short-term things. But this is a big mistake of our life. We never focus on the big picture. Instead of thinking long-term, we focus on low-hanging fruits. Because of which we get short-term joy but not long-term success. This is called law of short-sightedness. There is another psychological reason for this, which is related to our attitude. Most of us don't have perseverance. Perseverance is a superpower that makes you successful in life. Try to look at the life of the most successful people in the world. They all have a common quality of long-term dedication. This is one quality which differentiates between a champion and a mediocre individual. The seventh law is law of defensiveness. Whenever you go to change people, they will be resistant. People usually don't like change and they tend to repel people who want to change them. What can you do in such a situation? We make mistakes whenever we have to convince someone or we are enforcing our opinion on them. This is absolutely wrong because by doing this people feel that their free will is being attacked. They don't feel independent. If you want to change people, then focus on people. Give them importance. Be a good listener. They will feel empowered. Let them do the talking. Let them be the star of the show. You don't have to take an inferior position to make people superior. If you win people's trust like this, they will play in your hands. After that, whatever work you want them to do, they will easily do it. A French philosopher, Jean de la Boye, said something amazing. The true spirit of conversation consists more in bringing out the cleverness of others than in showing a great deal of it yourself. He who goes away pleased with himself and his own wit is also greatly pleased with you. You don't have to show yourself as a big shot in any conversation. You have to make people feel special. If they feel good after talking to you, they will feel good about you too. This is a very, very important point to note. Most men seek less to be instructed and even to be amused than to be praised and applauded. Instead of instructions, people like to be praised. Now the question is how to persuade people. For this, I will tell you 5 strategies. The first one is that you have to develop yourself as an expert listener. There is a reason why we have been given one ear and one mouth. Remember, everyone loves to be heard. People like it when someone listens to them. If you become the listener, this listening power will make you an expert persuader. The second strategy you have to follow to convince people is infecting people with your mood. After meeting you, people should be in a good mood. You should radiate positive vibes. People will want to meet you and associate with you. In return, you will be able to persuade them. The third strategy is to confirm their self-opinion. Make people the center of attraction rather than you becoming yourself. Give them autonomy and win them with your goodness. The fourth strategy is to allay people's insecurities. Every person is insecure about their looks, creative powers, masculinity, power status, their uniqueness and popularity. Your job is to protect them from these insecurities. To persuade people, the last strategy is to use their resistance and stubbornness in your favor. There are some individuals who are headstrong and assert their opinions at all costs. They are most resistant to change. People will do the opposite of what they are told. First, they will ask for your advice, and when you advise them, they will start complaining. Play mental judo with such people. If you have watched judo karate, then you must have observed that one player waits for the other to make a mistake until the opponent falls in his own trap. Use their emotions, their language, and their rigidity in your favor. If you tell them that what they are doing is right, then they will do the opposite of what they are told. Because you have advised them and they never listen to you. Because he is a rebellious soul. In return, he will do the opposite and you have to catch him. Friends, we have discussed human nature and psychology in great detail today. So today we will end our discussion on this last law, which is the law of self-sabotage. We all have different perspectives on the world. This perspective can make or ruin our lives. And now I am going to tell you the most important thing about your life. Remember that whatever you achieve in life, whatever happens in your life is directly proportional to your attitude. Just as your attitude towards life will give you the same return. If you are a pessimist and always think negative, then bad things will happen to you in life. And if you are an optimist and always look at the brighter side of things, things will always fall in place for you. So never let your growth be sabotaged by your attitude. Never stop it. Explore the limit of your willpower and you will be surprised how far your willpower will take you in life. A negative and toxic person drowns himself, drowns his people, and has a negative influence on his team. There are many categories of such toxic and negative people. One is hostile attitude. Such people are very venomous and spread hatred all around. Then there are people with anxious attitude. These people see problems at every turn of life. They are always suffering from excusitis. Their excuse is ready for everything and they are always cribbing and complaining. Then there are people with avoidant attitude. These people always avoid taking responsibility and run away from things, whether they are humans or situations. Then there are people with very commonly depressive attitude. These people are always worried even in the most joyous of occasions. And this depressive attitude is so infectious that they make sure that all the people around them get depressed. At the end of the video, Arthur Schopenhauer said something amazing which I would like to share with you. You have to listen to this carefully and share it with your friends and family. He said, "This is why the same external events or circumstances affect no two people alike. Even with perfectly similar surroundings, everyone lives in a world of his own. Even if our surroundings are similar, everyone lives in a different world." Now the question is, why? His amazing answer is, the world in which a man lives shapes itself chiefly by the way in which he looks at it, and so it proves different to different men. Your world will be the same as you would like to see it. To one, it is barren, dull, and superficial. To another, rich, interesting, and full of meaning. To one, the same life will be barren, dull, and boring. While the same environment will be rich and full of meaning. Wow, what a thing. He is saying that whenever a person tells about a good life experience, the listener says, "I wish I had this too." In thinking like this, he forgets that all these good things happen to him because of his mental aptitude, because of his positive thinking. Remember, friends, your thoughts become things. That's all for today. We will cover the rest of the laws in the next video. If you liked the video, do press the like button. Until next time, goodbye.